Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. I don't know about you, but I found today a difficult day, very somber day, of course being the first anniversary of the late Queen's passing. There were some very moving tributes to her, written ones that news teams put together, video tributes, and all very moving. Difficult day for me as well personally. I had to watch a harrowing memorial service online. A friend of mine that passed very suddenly and left two young girls behind. It was awful, and so a very emotional day, very difficult day, and made so much more difficult when Has-Been showed up at St. George's Chapel in a scruffy outfit, crumpled shirt and what looked like jeans, or very casual pair of trousers, timed exactly for the moment that William and Catherine were doing their most respectful duty in Wales, honouring the late Queen, papped allegedly by a tourist, but I don't think that there is a living being that believes that story, that it wasn't all set up, released through People magazine just at the right timing to steal all the thunder and overshadow everything else. The comments have been absolutely scathing. There is a visceral, and I use the word correctly, not guttural, there is a visceral loathing, hatred for him right now in the world. And so I have got the Radiant Wise Tarot on the tarot table. I'm going to have a look at this. I'm going to look at it from his point of view. I want to know, does he have any conscience, any sense of shame for the way he's behaving, the disgrace that he is? He was there yesterday at the Well Child event with his spray-on hair, making a speech that he'd seemingly appropriated from his brother about how the Queen was looking down and smiling on him and smiling on them. I don't think so. But does he have any sense of shame, any self-awareness, any conscience? Is it possible? And his relationship with the great British public and everyone else, because not my Queen, not my country, but today I was genuinely distressed, and even more so when I saw his behaviour. So how is it going to play with the great British public? Celtic Cross coming up with the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot, which is just ordinary Rider-Waite Tarot. I was actually going to use the Disney Villains Tarot for this one because that's how I feel right now, but it felt disrespectful to the late Queen to use such a tacky novelty tarot deck for this. So we're staying with the tried and trusted Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. We're doing a Celtic Cross, seeing what's going on with this brat of a, I want to say boy, but he's nearly 40. Death card just flew out there, and what's going on with him? In his heart of hearts, does he feel some sense of shame, or is it not possible? And what pressure is he under with his sagging popularity, his attempt to obviously steal the thunder and prove that he's, really was the most loved grandson? No, he wasn't, but we'll see. Celtic Cross, as I say, coming up. Lots of significant cards have popped out, which I'm going to shuffle back in, and then we'll get down to it. And let's remember that it's tarot for fun and entertainment, even if today it doesn't feel like fun and entertainment, and it's all my opinion, all speculation. I read energy here, archetypal energy, and there is, of course, a disclaimer in the box below. So let's see what's going on with this brat, with the Has-Been. And as usual, I'll probably have to shuffle things around. And there we have the cards and our underlying energy for this one. I'll put it over here. Underlying energy is the Four of Wands in reverse. What a surprise. That is a broken home. It's also the royal family, the Four of Wands. It's the firm foundation, the castles. What will normally is celebration with the card upright is now grief and sorrow and loss, but also the breakup of a family, the loss of a home, and more than the breakup of a family with the firm, it's the breakup of, I would say, has-been's relationship with the British public, now kind of official. The next card down, just by the way, is the Tower. Interestingly, but we'll leave it. We don't need to see that now. So the heart of the situation, what's going on from his point of view right now? Where is he as a human being? Blocked heart chakra, 4 of Pentacles, hanging on to his royal connections for all he is worth. That's what he's doing. It's the miser card, the mean card. Not refusing to let go, refusing to give it up, not going to let go of those titles, not going to let go of that status, not going to remove himself from the line of succession, not going to do the honourable thing, going to cling on because it's all he's got, it's all he knows. It's steaming with the foulness of that card, I have to tell you, in this particular reading. So what in particular is aggravating, crossing, challenging him, blocking him, causing him trouble? Strength card in reverse. This is the failure of Brand Sussex. It's the Sussex card, Harry and Meghan card. It's acquired that reputation, unfortunately for it, in these royal readings. Unfortunately for all Leo's proud, noble creatures represented by the Strength card, but brought into disrespect by the Parkles, unfortunately. And there it is. He's looking weak and cowardly and damaged and sick, ill, broken. With that major arcana in reverse. It's not the royal family in reverse. We're looking at this from his perspective and what's going on with him. He's been excluded from the royal family with the Strength card in reverse and the 4 of Wands underlying everything in reverse. And weak, pathetic, cowardly, sneaking in the night before, timing everything so that he could do this very calculated maneuver, so calculated. But let's ask the universe, in my opinion, of course, so calculated. Let's see what the universe has to say about this. How calculated was this? This is the motive card, the hidden energy, the shadow, toxic energy. We got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. That's undermining other people's work, you could say, with that card. Upright as being diligent, doing your duty, learning your craft, honing your skills, showing up every day and working hard. In the reverse, it's lazy, it's feckless, it's not bothered to do the right thing. And as I say, I get an extra energy off it of wanting to upstage other people and claim that you work harder and you are better at their jobs than they are. It's pitiful energy. It's very, very spiteful, very brashish energy with that. But it's lazy. You could see how lazy he was in his crumpled shirt and his spray on hair and everything. So scruffy and so slapdash and so last minute and so not royal. Really wanting to drag them down to his level. He can't rise up to their level. They held him up there. And I think we're at a place energetically in life at the moment. It's my sense as an energy reader, and we're talking bigger than just royal readings here, but it's my sense at the moment that people who have been propped up and kept up at a certain level by the people around them, the uniforms they wear or the jobs they have or the associations they have, are now sinking to their own level, or maybe rising higher if they have that inherently in themselves. But if they don't, and if they haven't done the work, Ace of Pentacles in reverse, then they are sinking. And this is Harry in free fall. So yeah, there's a nasty energy coming off that card, but it's also a scruffy, lazy, not up to it, not worth it, doesn't know how to behave energy to this card as well. What was his goal with this display? Papped, or not even papped, caught miraculously by a tourist in inverted commas. We've got the 10 of Wands in reverse. He's not in a good space right now. I was expecting something like the 6 of Wands, wanting to triumph over the royals, but he's actually in a very bad place, and he deserves to be, in my opinion, with the 10 of Wands in reverse. This is someone who would actually like to put these burdens down, the burdens of having to find an ironed shirt and the burden of having to organize these things himself and hire his own security and organize his own travel arrangements, make his own travel arrangements, and time things despite the rest of the family and stuff like that. He'd like to put this burden down. It's a very heavy burden. He's feeling very alone. He's exhausted. He's reached the end of his small durance, and it is a very small durance, and we can see that from the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. He just doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't know how to do the work. He doesn't know how to shape up, and it's all terribly tiring and exhausting. Playing these bratish games, he's not enjoying it. So for people who think he's getting some sort of sick thrill out of doing this, he's not enjoying this. This is the behavior of someone who's very damaged. Strength card in reverse, very alone, very broken. And as I say, I'm not shedding a tear for him at this point. So how did he feel flying into the UK? I think he flew in only yesterday and he's already left. So what were his feelings as he was flying in to his home country that he abandoned? Ace of Cups in reverse, feeling very, very emotional. Very. Didn't get the apology he thought he deserved, hasn't had the hand of love reach out across the ocean from Papa or from Willie or from anyone else. Nobody cares. Nobody there to welcome him, knowing that he was going into a very cold and very forbidding situation, all of his own making, if he could only realize that. We're going to ask down here if he can realize some of his own wrongdoing. But knowing that he was going to be isolated, unloved, unwelcome, and hard for him, very hard. How did he feel leaving after his brief whirlwind visit, just enough to make an annoying speech and then to show up at exactly the wrong moment to overshadow everyone else's heartfelt tributes? How did he feel leaving the UK after all was said and done? Page of Cups is somewhat chastened. It's an interesting card because we've gone from the Ace of Cups in reverse. We've got that cup again. The cup's turned upright. It's only got a fish in it, which is a pretty pitiful offering. If you're going to offer someone an apology or try and reach out to someone, try better than just a smelly fish in a cup. But there is some sense of wanting to reach out and wanting to connect after all is said and done. As I say, this is an interesting card because he's really ready to give up. He wants to go home. However much home doesn't want to have him around. I get consistently that he wants to go home. So, does he have any sense of remorse, shame, anything like that down here? Ask this question specifically. Oh yeah, we've got the Hanged Man, but the Hanged Man in reverse. The Hanged Man, while he's dangling there in limbo, is becoming enlightened. He is having a think about things. It's a big think card, and you can see the illumination around his head. And then in reverse, when he's cut down from the tree and he's liberated and he's free to act again and mingle in the world again, he has gained a whole new perspective about things. Something about this situation has made him have a bit of a wake-up moment. A little one. I do think that he is so damaged, and this is my own personal opinion, not a diagnosis, not an expert medical opinion, but it's my personal opinion that he is so damaged mentally at this point that he's not really capable of appreciating the harm that he's causing to other people, and I don't think he ever will. But as far as an awakening is possible, as far as some sense of shame is possible, we have a card that says, yeah, he has had a think, and he now sees things somewhat differently to the way he was seeing things before. And perhaps reading newspapers, perhaps while he was there watching the same kinds of things that I was watching, of how hard people worked. People called back from the four corners of the earth to come and serve when it became clear that the late Queen was dying. His own wrongdoing and holding the plane up and causing all this grief. There's been a lot of commentary about how much grief he and his wife caused the Queen and her final days. So there is some, I won't say reason for optimism here, because I don't believe he can change or improve at this point. I think he's a lost cause. That's my personal opinion. But in his own self, he has had a bit of a think. So what pressure is he under? We're now heading into the public domain here. Not the public domain, but his relationship with the British public. What pressure is he under? Yeah. No, you don't get another go with us. No fresh start for him. Fool in reverse. Literally not possible. You're not going to get another chance. Nobody wants you around. Go away. We can't stand you. The hate word was mentioned a lot in comments. Very strong word. And so people are just saying you're stupid, you're reckless, you're dangerous, you've betrayed the family, you've betrayed us, and we don't want you back. You're not getting another chance with us. So that's the pressure he's under, and he does seem to have realized this. Of course, opinion polls coming out again recently that showed the endless slide down for him and his wife, down the greasy pole. His hopes and fears, this visit, hoping, fearing, what's he hoping, fearing is going to happen? We've got the High Priestess in reverse, which is, I think the eternal fear for him is that some truths are going to start coming out about his behavior and what's really been going on, because it's secrets revealed, the High Priestess in reverse. There is also the sense that maybe he realizes at some level he is, for me it's very much an afterlife card, because the High Priestess has that ability to communicate with realms beyond just our physical world, and some sense perhaps that the Queen looking down might not be looking down in such a friendly way, or Mother looking down might not be looking down in such a friendly way. And also, as a consequence of that, or as part of that, not a consequence, but associated with that thought, might be the thought, and this is pure speculation, that he might have been led astray by people who were claiming to counsel him, who might have been able, allegedly, to tap in to that energy from the spirit world and have led him astray. I think part of this wake-up call here with the Hanged Man in reverse is he's beginning to suspect that the people who claimed that they could speak on behalf of the dead were just talking a whole lot of steaming pile of you-know-what. So anyway, outcome for Harry. Consequences of this journey, this display, this stunt. Consequences really with the public, not with the British royal family. The British royal family, I'm sure, we're expecting it. Public, pretty much, we're expecting it too. What's it going to do for him in terms of damage, possibly, or in terms of rehabilitating his reputation in the UK? How's it going to play ultimately? We've got the Queen of Pentacles, which is a very positive card, surprisingly. Perhaps people are going to take the charitable view and think, well, at least he showed up. At least he went in his crumpled shirt to his grandmother's final resting place and did bother to go. Perhaps that will be kind, give some sense of kindness to him. It's not a terrible card at all. It's a very positive card. I'm surprised to see it. My eye constantly on this reading, though, is on this card, which is looking up at me from the bottom of the tarot deck, the Tower. He's got himself into terrible trouble. We can see this with the Four of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Cups in reverse and the Strength card in reverse and the Ten of Wands in reverse and the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. But there is a sense of, I'm going to hang on grimly to what I have still, the connection I still have with the royal family. I am going to try, perhaps, and make some somewhat more humble gesture to try and claw my way back into the good graces of the British public. It does look as if, for now, this stunt that I find so despicable might gain him some favorable notice. Certainly, top story in the newspapers that I was looking at. So as far as stunts go, it gained a lot of notice, it gained a lot of attention, and people are perhaps going to be somewhat forgiving and say, well, at least he tried, at least he came back, at least he bothered to go there just coincidentally while some tourist, in inverted commas, had their camera out and was busy filming. So yeah, I know where I stand in this whole thing, but I'm asking universe. Universe is giving me this answer. And this answer too, just by the way, is the late Queen's energy, Queen of Pentacles. She was, of course, a Taurus. And if someone is looking down, and oddly, I never do this on this channel. I do it in other readings for myself and other people close to me. But I had a strange urge to do a reading from above, and what is going on above, what are the feelings from this woman watching, looking down. I had a very strong sense that I should do it, decided not to do it because I personally can't stand it when I see people channeling Princess this or whoever that deceased celebrity. I can't stand it, and it's not channeling, it's looking at just energy messages from the universe more. But there is a strong message coming from here that she is still, and I think this is the true outcome of this reading, not the great British public. I think the great British public pretty much would hit him and knock him in the dog bowl like I would, and I'm not inciting violence, but it's just, I think we're with William on that one, that he deserves to have his necklace broken and knocked in the dog bowl again today. But looking down from above, our Queen of Pentacles is still supportive, still kindly disposed towards this errant grandson, and full of forgiveness and kindness. And perhaps there is a lesson for me, at least, in this reading, but perhaps for some of you watching as well. And there it is. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.